Up, here we are. Welcome to episode 72 of Jungle Brothers Podcast. It's Joey. We've got T, Paul, and Dylan in the house.
Yo.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you guys? Dylan's a coach of ours, pretty fresh on the scene. We're going to pick that apart a little bit today, find out a bit more about the young man. But before we rip into that, just to let you guys know, we're sipping on the Panavore coffee today, the most delicious brew. If you're in the Botany Hood or Pagewood area, do go and drop by their cafe, try a Joey sandwich, get it with the chili sauce, and get a couple of coffees because they're delish. Shout out to Tree. We got our Rise Foundation Australia Mental Health First Aid Workshop happening in the gym tomorrow. It's all booked out. It's all happening. But we're looking forward to that. It's going to be sick. We've also got some photography and video work happening in the gym tomorrow, which is going to be cool. Besides that, upcoming events, nothing really to mention. We're trying to find a way to reignite the JB Games.
Yes, we are.
It was meant to happen, obviously, at the winter solstice, which is kind of the middle of the year, but COVID fucked that up. So we're looking for a way, or Dills is looking for a way, to make it a reality. And hopefully, what are we talking next?
Either the end of next month, it's looking like, or early the month after. So we should see some notifications coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Amazing, amazing. Paul is just directing that microphone towards the mouthpiece. Dylan Butcher, do you want to give us a little intro, who you are and that sort of thing?
Man. So obviously my name is Dylan. I've been coaching here for I think about 6 months now. 6 months? Yeah, I'd say about 6 months.
It's been 6 already.
Yeah, it's gone quick, right? I did the internship with Joey last year. Decided that I wanted to keep going through it and traveling down that path. Spoke to you boys and said, hey, this is something I'm interested in. Would you guys be interested in letting me step in a couple of classes? You guys said, fuck yeah, let's do it. Sort of took on from there, started taking one class at a time. Now I'm here, I think, like 11 classes a week. So it's going really well. Yeah, loving it.
You went deep, fast.
Went deep. Yeah, only way I know.
We pushed you.
How long were you training at the gym? When did you start here?
Late 2018 or mid 2018, just after the JB Games.
Okay, so a couple of years back.
Yeah, 2 and a bit years now.
Do you guys remember when Dill signed up?
Yeah,
no, I did Phil's. I did.
Good to have you on the show, Phil.
Wrong Dills. I did Dill's foundation.
Yes.
We did that together.
Yeah, right on.
Back in my mobile bodybuilder days.
I was poking him with my fingers saying,
Lucky man.
hey, you get those fucking glutes active. with the abs. It's all changed now. These all button abs.
I made a note here that when you first signed up, I thought you were too keen.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think he's going to last. He's too keen. You know when you get people that are real keen, you're like, it's short lived. Like they seem so perfect that it's not going to last.
You know, you say that about everyone.
I've said it about a few people. Who else did I say it about that? Because I meant that.
I feel
I've said it. Who?
he's not keen enough. He's definitely not going to last. Yeah, he's kind of like keen, but not enough.
He's definitely too keen. Won't last. No, it's usually the over enthusiasm that like raises the red flag for me.
Well,
you've proved me wrong thus far.
He has steaming on through, and
About that, I'm off. See you boys.
He's still keen.
I mean, you're really keen. You're really pushing us here in the business because I guess we'll get into it soon. But you've come upstairs to the office and you're doing a whole bunch of work with us here. And yeah, I love the new energy of another person coming in because I've been with these two guys for so long. So it can be a bit stale there. But yeah, it's been great to have you.
No, it's been great being here.
So when you just, the story goes, you were training here, but you've been working in another industry and you were doing that for a long time. You've only just come out of that.
Yeah. So I didn't go to uni straight out of high school. I went and got a job. I started in sales. That's been my life for the last probably almost a decade now. So I started off doing door-to-door sales, the most brutal and horrible job that I can ever imagine doing, going to people's houses in the middle of the day and trying to
What were you selling?
Kids. I was selling kids.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, so I was walking door to door.
Hang on.
Let me give a little bit of context.
Please.
So I was working for a charity.
Yep.
Non-for-profit, and I was going door to door trying to flog off kids in Africa to people saying, hey, do you mind supporting these kids and helping them out and doing that? So it was good for a good cause. But I think you get a little bit disillusioned when you see that back end and you realize how sales focused something like that is. And also the fact that you're going to people's doors in the middle of the day.
So cold.
Yeah,
The
you're
sale.
like, hey, I know you're trying to rest, or if you're here in the middle of the day, you're doing something important, but here I am to try and
Yeah.
Do you have
Take
any
a bit of time.
strange encounters?
Yeah, quite a few.
Tell us one good one.
I rocked up. This was
Juicy one.
probably towards the end of the day, like 4 p.m. We used to knock till 5 or 6 because of the laws in Australia. Knock on this door. This guy comes out. Really super cool, chill guy. He's like, oh yeah, start talking to him. He's like, man, I don't give a crap about anything you're saying, but do you want to come in and punch a few cones with us and go for a little bit of a feed? And I'm like, oh, yeah, right then. And I just spent the rest of the afternoon there. So my boss, because you have someone who's in the truck with you and like goes door to door with you, is like, oh, how many doors? Yeah, heaps of doors. Yeah, I knocked everywhere, this whole street. It's like, oh, I didn't hear from you the last hour. Yeah, I was just really busy. I had this real good talk with this last fella. So that was probably like one of the highlights of the job. The rest was being chased off people's yards and almost attacked by vicious dogs all the time.
Dogs, yeah.
Oh, dogs are brutal. Or you knock and they just before they even answer the door, have a look, you just hear, fuck off, get out of here. People love it. Nothing better than getting rudely interrupted in the middle of the day.
That happened. I did that once, door knocking.
Really? What?
Yeah, for it was Salvation Army. I think they do like one day a year where you can just volunteer to door knock. And I did Clovelly, and it was horrible. I was just so shocked at how little amount of people put their hands in their pockets in one of the most wealthiest suburbs in Australia.
Strangely enough, one big thing I found was the more impoverished the area,
the more they give,
the way more hospitable and giving they are. If you went to your Vaucluse or even up in like some of the Blue Mountains, richer areas, they're just brutal with you. They're like,
that's how they get rich.
I had one guy was so rude to me, slammed the door in my face, and his dog was just sitting there barking at me the whole time. And then I was like, no, fuck this guy. So I left the door open, called his dog out. We walked down the street together, and then I just bailed on the dog. There you go, buddy.
Freedom.
You're free. Go explore the world.
Fuck, man. Yeah, people can be awful.
Ah,
And you notice it when you travel, actually, when you're in usually a country that's poorer and people are like inviting you in and trying to feed you and give you stuff. But then you travel somewhere that's like the equivalent of Australia and no one's giving you food or asking you to come into the house or, it's really weird, huh?
cultural.
Yeah.
What made you get into that? Like, that's a pretty tough, like, I don't imagine, a lot of people go, I'm going to fucking do door-to-door sales.
Look, I've always had a mentality that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it pretty fully. I think if you're going to hop into something, you want to hop in 100% and give it as much as you can give. At that time, I wasn't working. I think before that, I was doing night shifts at McDonald's. So fantastic job there too.
I applied for a job at McDonald's and got knocked back.
Oh, yeah?
FYI.
The hiring process is tougher than you think for Macca's, man.
I worked at Macca's.
What do you mean you got knocked back from Macca's?
I literally got knocked back. There's a guy, the owner, this little, is about 5 foot wide and tall, and greasy little guy. And I took my resume and everything, and he said, "Yep, great, we'll get you back in for a meeting or whatever." And I went back in and we sat down. And he said, "Now I just want to start this conversation by letting you know that not everyone that works at this McDonald's was successful in their application the first time. And so with that, you were unsuccessful with your application."
Which was that? Which Macca's was that?
He wanted to see if you were
Blaisdell.
going to come back round 2.
I guess.
Yeah, he was waiting till you say, "That's okay, I'll apply again." He's like, just fucking
You're in, yeah.
do the job.
You got
Which
the job.
Macca's were
You
you
know
at?
what, kid? You can work the fryer.
I was at Kingsford.
Kingsford Macca's.
24/7, bro.
I was at Concord Macca's.
Oh yeah,
You were at
the uni
Macca's
parties.
too.
For a very, very, very short period of time. I got a job there. And in total, I probably would have been on there for 6 months or 9 months, but I only ever worked like the first 4 months. And then I had that little black book where you say your NA in the calendar when you can't work. And I just kept on doing that for the last 4 months. And I was like, guys, I'm not working here anymore.
I got a job at Macca's.
Which one?
Yep. Bondi Beach. I never turned up to it. So I got a job. And the manager's like, "You've got a job, you could come in and do the intern thing where they show you how to do everything. And I went
4 to
home.
1s, 2 to 1s.
Yeah, I remember going home to my mum and dad, and I went home to my mum and I said, I've got a job at Macca's, and mum was stoked, and she's like, good on you, it'll be good for you to have a job and learn, the systems and all that kind of stuff. And then I remember telling my dad at the time, who was a little bit AWOL, like he was off the rails, and he's like, how much are you getting paid? I was like, $3.95 or something like that. And he's like, mate, do you really think you're worth that much? And I thought about it. I was like, $3.95. And he goes, you're going to work a whole week. And at the end of that week, you'll probably have less than $100. Oh. And I was like, oh, yeah, fuck that. I can't work for that. That's shit. Yeah. That was the end of it. And I never turned up.
Thanks for the pep talk, Dad.
That was it.
Totally.
My experience with Macca's. But I always liked going to Macca's. Friends that worked at Macca's, because you'd go and, order like 2 or 3 things, and they'd just load up the bag with like massive amounts of burgers and chips. Yeah. And then you'd give them like $10 and they'd give you like $12.50 change. Like, yes. It's great.
It's true. Like the bag that your food comes in, if people are trying to visualize this, the bag that your food comes in, picture that full to the brim with chips. It's the best. It's like a suitcase of fried shit.
So good.
Yeah, it's true, man. It was a special, McDonald's were a special place. Was a special place at that age.
Back in the day,
It was the headquarters. It was where you met. It was where shit went down. Fights, people with cars coming in. Yeah. You meet girls there. It was like the whole thing. So
you
I
could
guess
even smoke ciggies in them.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
It's true.
They had the foil ashtrays.
Before my time.
Oh, fuck, I remember those.
Yeah, foil
That's
ashtray.
right.
You could smoke ciggies and Maccas.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everything was in foam.
The days of freedom.
And the burgers were actually big.
I don't know, or were we just smaller? I don't know if the burgers changed or if we changed.
Maybe. But all of this set a really good ground, foundation for you.
So all
these
these first couple of jobs were pretty tough, but took a lot of lessons away from it, especially the door-to-door sales. Biggest lesson I feel I took away from that was if you can go to someone's house when they don't want to see you and convince them that you have something of value to them, you can do that anywhere. From there, I went on, started working at Platypus Shoes, the East Garden store. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing on
That was a popular place, that one.
Yeah. Not when I started there, it wasn't.
Also, bygone era, and they don't exist anymore, do they?
Yeah, still
online.
I think they're around.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Still kicking.
Wow.
Still kicking, yeah. So I started there as a casual. I was working a couple of hours a week. Over the next year, worked my way up, full-timer to IC. Year and a half, I was managing the East Garden store. Kicked around with Platypus Shoes for about 5 years. Helped manage a couple of different stores, mainly the East Gardens one, and then kicked on from there. Took on a role at Reese, another sales role from there.
Yeah,
and hold on 1 sec.
Just gag on it.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and kept working through sales from there. Started off again as a full timer at Reese. Worked my way up to 2 IC from there, and then across to here.
Dude.
So, what about your training? Like, where did that start?
In physical training?
Yeah, just like your interest in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I
lifting
was in my group of friends. I was probably the fat kid growing up. Camillo, as a lot of you guys will know, who's in the gym, was my best friend for years.
Camillo.
Such a good guy.
Webos. Shout out.
He's always been the athletic one growing up. So he was the fitter dude, and a couple of other friends we had who were pretty athletic. We weren't like athletes, but they kept pretty fit. I was always the slower kid that was kicking around the back and trying to keep up with them. Then after high school, I started training with my mate who was doing bodybuilder style training and was managing a gym. Got into it that way. Started doing a lot of physical powerlifting, bodybuilding stuff, training real heavy 3-4 days a week, resting the rest of the week, eating big, all that sort of stuff, and watching him occur injury after injury and just thinking, nah, that's not what I want. This dude looks impressive and he's strong and he's a super nice guy, but he's not going to be able to maintain this. There's no way in a couple of years he's going to be kicking around and having this passion or being able to do what he wants to do. Decided to try something different, went looking online, found a few things, and then it was actually, I think it was Brooke or Nat, who actually went to the same high school as me,
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they were a couple of years below me, so we
Yep.
weren't in the same friend groups, but they went to South Sydney, so same school as me and Camilo.
Represent.
Hosted, yeah,
Oh, that's so
represent South
crazy that
Sydney.
you guys are all connected.
Yeah. So they started posting a few things of the tribe. That was probably a year about before I joined. And I saw that, followed you guys on social media a little bit, hit up T, never called me back.
Is that true?
Yeah. Hit him up again.
God, I can't believe you're remembering. You shouldn't say
What else
this
you got there,
Dylan?
What else you got there?
Joe's giving me this
Telling
look.
us. We should get into that foundation program
done it all
all
the time.
Next week. Damn it, we could have talked about this person.
Then I hit you up again, and you were due diligent that time.
That's-
Called me back and got on to me.
Sales guy.
Yeah, mate, just turn your call, mate. What do you want? Yeah, it's a fucking gym, mate. Just come in.
Come in, you'll love it. That's it. Called him up again, said, hey, me and a mate want to come try some classes. Can we come in? He's like, yeah, come see Joey, come do a couple classes, see if you enjoy it. We'll go from there. Came in and I think I did an S&M with you.
Who
I
was
think
the
it
mate?
S&M.
Did he come with you?
Camilo.
Oh, it was Camilo
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
Ah, yeah. Well, I met Camilo separately in a different class.
Yes. Yeah, I brought him into a few family and friends days. Slowly
That's right.
working on him.
That's right.
And saying, oh yeah,
Slowly.
you got to join. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna join. So,
Slowly
yeah.
trying to
That's right.
wean him into becoming a coach at our gym.
Yeah. Well, I told him I can't run a business if he's not with me.
We're grooming him.
He's got to get in
Right.
there.
Last night, I even got him taking one little,
Oh,
like a question mark kick.
a
to
little technique
demo
piece in class.
Question mark with Dylan. It's good. Got a taste of it. Like, oh,
The power.
The
authority.
even afterwards, he said, "Is there any questions?" It was great.
Can we do this?
No, so it was good. Yeah, did
But yeah,
a couple
so-
of classes with Joey and
And with the trial thing, just to give folks some context, we don't just kind of, our gym's not open for anyone to come and just try a class. So it's usually like, you have to get in touch with us. We need to have a little bit of a chat, find out if you're kind of, if you can at least manage yourself responsibly, because we don't know where you're at.
Yep.
So there's always a bit of a process to get to you coming in and doing a class.
100%. Yeah, I had a pretty strong foundation in at least weightlifting and a little bit of CrossFit style stuff. So that was what I discussed with T, and obviously he assessed that I was at the level that I could come in, be competent in the class, and still get something from it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, you were talking about like when you started training with your mate
Mm-hmm.
and you were doing powerlifting, bodybuilding. I'm guessing you were going through a change in yourself where you were discovering training, probably some of that weight was being lost. And
Yeah.
can you tell us a bit more about that? And also, you said your mate was, he was getting injured kind of on and off. Were you also experiencing these sorts of things? Did you get injured along the way?
I was pretty lucky that I cracked onto it pretty quickly, and didn't have any major injuries. I'd had a few I've tweaked my back or my knee's feeling a little bit off, but nothing serious, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely was going through my own sort of journey at that stage. I actually lost the bulk of the weight before that. Started doing a bit of running and a bit of walking and just eating healthier and generally taking care of myself. Lost probably about 20 kilos, slimmed right down, and then got into the bodybuilding stuff and started putting on some mass and started really getting into lifting weights and enjoying the fitness side of stuff. Because before that, never really got into sports, never really digged any of that stuff. Read a lot of comic books, played a lot of video games, decided that superheroes were badass, and decided
they
that's
are.
what I want to do. Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah, they are.
Not
And
all
then-
of them. Some of them. I'm not into Superman.
Two goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Bit perfect.
Yeah. Bit perfect. Sorry.
No, fair enough.
I was actually going to ask you, what kind of kid were you in school?
Oh, super nerdy.
All right.
Super nerdy. Still super nerdy. Probably something that a lot of people don't know is how nerdy I am.
Tell us.
Like super. I was talking with T the other day. Like, I'm going away next weekend. I'm going to play D&D for a whole weekend. So that level nerdy.
do you
What's
take your
D&D?
partner
What do
with
you
you?
mean? What's
No,
D&D?
no, just me and the boys.
Just the
You don't-
boys.
What's D&D?
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, so super nerdy. I was a huge sci-fi
We
kid.
also found out that Dylan likes playing Magic the Gathering, which I was very excited about.
So you're a fan of that, aren't
I'm
you?
a very big fan of MTG.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that.
Got to have all those
yeah,
abbreviations.
this stuff gets
D&D.
I play
MTT.
Snakes and Ladders sometimes with my 6-year-old, so I know the deal.
Yeah, bro. You'd be a veteran, man. Know exactly what's going on. No, but it's good. I love that sort of stuff. Read lots of comic books, played lots of video games, bit of a indoor kid, bit of a nerd. So definitely didn't have any of that. I played a bit of sports, but it was like weekend sports, what your parents make you do, a little bit of football, a little bit of taekwondo. Never really got into it. Never really found something that gelled with me.
But you said you believe that when you're getting into something, you'll give it your all and do your best. And
Yep.
I can see that with you because it seems like you're working overtime to catch up on everything you missed out with your training and your movement and the stuff you're doing here now.
Yeah.
Developing as a coach, you're like all in learning stuff on how to be a better coach, presenting, technique, different types of practices. And then you're just down there doing everything that we do and more.
Some big training sessions.
Big training sessions. You're trying to
3.5 hour sessions and
strength. It's
literally doing everything.
Remind me of a young Joe Worthington.
Got to keep up. Got to keep up. I'm seeing all these new athletes coming into the gym, and I'm like,
There's some specimens
oh yeah,
coming through the door. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and all this fresh blood
One
that's
of them
just got all
fucking
this
kicked me in the
energy.
gut. Look at that. Whew. I'm just showing everyone a big bruise on my rib cage. That
who was that?
Fergal, young
Fergal.
Irish,
I think Az was complaining about some damage that he sustained from
Roundhouse
Fergal as well.
Yeah,
kicked me in the
he did.
ribs.
I saw him put you down last night, and I've got it on video. I watched it last night.
He
He just like
was
leg
a-
tripped you.
It was like a trip.
Yeah, you were
thing.
pushing him against the wall. You're in a clinch, and he.
I'm Fergal's biggest fan.
me
all
in
of
the
a sudden.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Ferg, we should hang out, bro.
Bastard.
It was good.
Oh.
No,
So
they're-
he's got some skills, obviously, from previous training.
I think he's just one of those. He's an athletic, strong, young chap.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a bit of boxing behind him. But yeah, he's very fun to train with. It's great.
Totally.
Yeah.
Big, tall,
But
rangy fella.
it seems to be like this new wave of members that are coming through. There's some really strong, they've already got a good foundation, and a lot of the disciplines that we're already doing.
Yeah.
Looking like Athena, and then you got these boys that were up there last night. I could rattle off about 5 or 6 of them. That
I was hanging out up there as they were all arriving, and I started to feel a bit intimidated.
Right, it's like you get out there and you're kind of like,
And
okay,
then-
try and warm up, and then before you know it, it's like on.
Turn into Kumite. Got some blood sports
There's a lot
going
of
on.
light heavyweights up there.
Yeah, it's a bit of
Dan
weight.
says
It's a
they
bit of
looked at
weight.
me and said, "When are you going to have a fucking box, bro?" And I was like, "Shut up, Dan. I'm out of here." Fuck, it's cool.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, you're right. So you gotta keep up and stay ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
Being a coach in this gym,
100%.
At least, at the very least, you you feel like you got a foundation to work from where you can be in a place of where people are going to listen to you and look up to you.
Yeah,
as
well,
you
you've
know.
got so many cool people doing cool shit around you, right? And you want to
Yeah.
give everything a go. So if you just, obviously the specificity is a thing as well, but when you've got so many cool people messing around with different stuff and you've got a little bit of spare time, of course you're going to end up spending 3 hours doing different stuff because you want to do a little bit of A, a little bit of B, go up for a fight, come downstairs, do some movement or some handstands, and before you know it, at the end of the day,
Enter into a
fucking
national
weapon.
Enter into a
Ass
national
kicker.
tag competition on
oh
TV.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, I'm signed up for that now.
Mate.
Are you going for that?
Yeah, bro, it's
Oh,
official.
wonderful.
Fuck yeah.
It's
What's it called
official.
again?
Tag.
Tag.
I think Ultimate Tag.
Ultimate tag. That's one.
What have they done?
Ultimate
Did they
Tag.
tell us, T? They reached out to the gym.
They did. They saw the website, and actually, you know who they wanted? They wanted all the people on, the people that are on our website that have a little comment. What do you call it?
Testimonials.
Testimonials of Stefan and
Oh yeah, Jack Garrard and Carl.
yeah, they were like, all those people on the testimonials, will take them. And
Like some of those people don't exist anymore.
and I go, yeah, we got a list together anyway. We got about eight
Yeah.
people from the gym that
Yeah.
are keen.
Putting the
Keen to
word
go
out.
in.
I'm going to start training for that. So let's get a couple of you guys together. Hit me up and we'll start training together for it.
Yeah, we're going to turn the gym into a little bit of a parkour tag.
The game is, if,
Environment.
for people who might not get it, it's you've probably seen it online. It's kind of like a parkour setup with like think of a I don't know, like an arena with scaffolding and different platforms and poles and stuff, and then essentially it's tip. We call it tip in Australia, but tag in America. You're chasing someone and trying to touch them, And when you get them, you win. So they're trying to run from you, trying to catch them. But because of all this structure and scaffolding and whatever, you can jump, climb, spin. Like, it's fucking hectic.
Should just head down. And
I actually get scared.
Oh yeah,
about playing it.
Yeah.
You should head down to the
savage sport.
local construction site down there, the new Botany
Oh,
apartments, and just train on
Hell
the
yeah.
scaffolding on the
Yeah,
outside.
man.
Just play
Climbing
tips
up
out
and
there, dodge some cars.
Well, that's kind of what you would have done back in
You
the
could
day.
just you could kind of lure the police in there and just like
That's your
pump
tactic.
dragon, you know, and then fucking run.
We used to do a bit of that back in the day, break into the construction sites and hang out there. So it's good. I've been training without even knowing it. Fantastic.
You were built for this.
Exactly. Just didn't know.
So what so you know, in getting into that process and coming in here and deciding that you wanted to do the training and all those things, what why did you want to go through that? What, you know, why did you want to go through that hard
What
work?
was my like turning point?
Yeah.
So I was working for a good company, company that I could definitely work for the rest of my life, and I'd be supported financially. I'd have a good job. I'd be working for good people, but at the end of the day, it was doing something that didn't really interest me, and that yes, I'm making good money, and yes, I'm stable and I've got a good career, but I'm missing that extra bit of fulfillment. Then it was actually when I went on the retreat with you. We went over to Bali for a couple of weeks, and we were doing a bunch of stuff, and I was just sitting there watching you coach and watching your mates from up in Queensland take us through our breath workshops and our
Josh
chill
and
works.
Casey.
Josh and Casey, shout out. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, these guys are getting to do something that they absolutely love doing, and that's helping so many people, and seeing all these people have these huge breakthroughs and being able to realize things they've never realized before. And I'm like, I want to do something like that. I want to be able to help the people around me do something I love doing and contribute in some way as well. And so I said to you straight after that trip, or on the last day of that trip, I'm like, I want to make this happen. How do we do it? And you said, oh, well, let's do this internship. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a go. It's only going to take one day of my week. Let's see how it goes. Told my job, like, hey, can I change my roster around? Went from there, and yeah, it was fantastic.
So cool. So that moment was the sort of the turning point for you.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'd thought on the idea before, like, it wasn't a brand new idea, but it had been something at the back of the head where it's like, oh yeah, that's something I might do in the future. You know, there's always, I'll think about it after I've got to this point, or I'll think about it in the next week or so. But that trip was the point where I'm like, nah, I'm making this happen now. Because if I keep just thinking as a background thought, it's never going to happen, and it's never going to become a reality.
I remember when you said it to me in Bali, and you know what I thought in my mind? He doesn't have what it takes.
You told him that,
And
didn't
look
you?
at me now.
Yeah, what it takes.
Stand down, young man. No, that's cool, man.
That's really cool.
That was what
Forgot
was that?
you went on that.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah. It's happened quick.
Lots changed since
Yeah.
then.
You're definitely a go-getter.
Yeah, well, it's probably a lot thanks to COVID, to be honest. That was a big game changer. I know it obviously not ideal, and for a lot of people it's pushed a lot of stuff back, but for me it allowed me to have a lot more time to make some decisions and start coming across more fully. Obviously everyone took a hit when it came to income and everything, but at the end of the day that was the big thing that got me in here full time. So a little bit of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it was, because it was a blessing for us too, because the way we had to work changed overnight, didn't it? And so Dylan was there, and Nikki as well, and all of our other coaches, but you and Nikki didn't really have a huge place in a huge coaching role at that time.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden there was like all this stuff that had to be done, and you guys were like, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
we're happy to do it.
Left with so many extra days a week now, like, let's get it done.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And obviously he needed a role to move into, and we didn't have that role at all at that point, because that role was our role at that stage.
Yes.
Yeah, and still is. So looking from the outside in, to bring one extra person into the mix of to do work that three people are already doing seems a little bit OTT.
Yes, a little bit superfluous.
For day-to-day runnings of business, but there was a reason behind it. Bringing Dylan in helped to push us into what we look at as the next phase of our business evolution and our role evolution as well within the JB community.
That's right. Which is essentially where are we going with that?
Right, we're fucking going gangbusters. we're looking
We're
at
outta
here. Holiday somewhere while Dills does all the work. No, we're moving into growth. So specifically, so myself, Paul, and Joe are moving into a role where we build on our business model that we've got here. Systems, designs that put us into a position where we can affiliate the Jungle Brothers model. And the only way we can do that is to give it, obviously, the attention that it deserves. And that attention is 100% our work week eventually. So right now we're in the process of systemizing everything we do in the gym, every little thing. So even the small things, the minor details from gym design to how we connect with our members, how
Watering
we build
the
a
plants.
community, how we grow our plants, everything. We're putting it all into a system, and that system is what we will be passing on to the next wave of Jungle Brother affiliate owners, who are actually in the pipeline right now.
Yeah, I mean I think since the beginning we've had regular reach outs from people that are kind of on the periphery of our network. You know, I've had numerous friends over the years are like, hey man, I'd love to open a Jungle Brothers where I'm living in Queensland or whatever, you know? And it's always been like, that'd be sick, man. Maybe one day, like, we can figure something out. And so I think the demand for that or not the demand, but that conversation has only come up more and more frequently as time goes on. As people start to see the uniqueness of what we do and the ability to kind of express, their own sort of passion with training through the format that we run in our gym. And so we're kind of in a position now where we're like, well, let's build a system that allows people to do that.
Yeah. I think a lot of the conversations I have on that same subject is, Jungle Brothers is kind of built around you three. It's going to be very hard to replicate, without you guys in the gym. And I think what's happened over the last probably 2 years since we moved into this bigger location is it's proven that that's not actually the case. The case, I mean, we have less and less to do with the daily runnings of this business and less to do with coaching on the floor, but it's the culture in here that people come for. And the biggest challenge that we have is to be able to take that culture and transfer it into make it something tangible, like a process or a system that people can follow. And that's exactly what we're doing. And we're seeing if we can do it. And so far it's looking like it's working really well. It's great.
Yeah, it is a bit
exciting.
It is a bit of a test run. Mm-hmm. And so what we're saying there with Dills is that he's essentially going to be testing out his ability to take on almost everything we do day to day in this gym and manage it for himself.
Yeah, it'll be Dills and one other, and they'll take the role of myself, Joe, and Paul, and then myself, Joe, and Paul will move into directors of Jungle Brothers Pizza Altitude, which will run the affiliate model, and we'll get to test drive that model because Dylan will run it in an established gym, and then we've got myself and potentially Aaron, who want to be our very first Jungle Brothers affiliate gyms.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be one in Dublin and one in Mullumbimby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
if
then,
everything works out.
then it
the way we
becomes
want
Jungle
it to.
Brothers worldwide.
Yeah. Well, after that, sky's the limit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fucking cool prospect. It seems in many ways it seems like a distant thing, but it's all been moving so fast that it's really not that distant at all.
No, and I think our business model, and this is funny because it's very hard. Like some people find it difficult to relate a business model to community, and they look at them two separate things. Like community always kind of revolves around donations, and you got to give something and not get anything back. But we've proven that you can have community and business are actually one and the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been really good at kind of capitalizing on, you know what I mean? Like making a business out of community, and it sounds kind of superficial, but it's not. It's actually really robust and really versatile and very, very good for the customer, or in our case, our members, and really good for us as individuals, you know, because you get paid with money, but you also get paid with job satisfaction, which a lot of jobs don't. You know, you're doing something good for humanity and good for people, and you get paid for it. It's fucking mad, you know. And I'm really proud that we've got something there that we can potentially replicate and share with the rest of the world. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited.
Me too.
It's a funny one, that job satisfaction kind of fulfillment thing, because you know, like talking with, you know, Dill's talking about that conversation we had in Bali and stuff. That was obviously quite a impactful, you know, moment for you, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's, you know, it was just another conversation with someone that, you know, that I coach. And I think we have those conversations a lot, not necessarily as significant as that, but, you know, you have these conversations with people that become quite significant in their lives and maybe catalyze a particular change. But it's very easy when you just do that for a living. So when you're a PT or a coach, you run a gym, it's very easy to just work talk. You know, it's just what you do. And then, you know, you have a moment like this where someone can tell you, oh, that actually changed the trajectory of my plan in life, and now I'm doing this. And you're like, holy shit, that is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's very, it's kind of relative. You almost need to be reminded of that so that you can go back to that. Oh, wow. Yeah. What I do is I'm quite fortunate to be able to do
Seeing
what I do.
the impact of your actions, right? Like, it's like, you don't know how direct a thing that you do as a passing glance can throw everything into the wind or change everything for someone else. It's really cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think there's a responsibility that comes with that.
Definitely.
Because it's very easy to take advantage of a situation like that, and I've seen this, especially in our industry, fitness industry, is rampant with young coaches that want to make a difference, and they're in that business because of the fact that they want to help people. They're carers, and then there's, almost every business model I know that revolve, probably bar what would we, just a small business gym and CrossFit, I guess. But all the big business gyms, they don't give a fuck about.
No, they rely on that cheap
Community.
labor and that
They
motivation,
don't give
like
a fuck
that,
about the
that
coaches.
youthful
Yeah.
sort of positivity
Yeah.
and energy.
Yeah, or the coach's path, or how many people they're reaching out and helping. They use that as a marketing tool, but they tarnish it,
Yeah.
you know, because they bring these coaches in, they use them and abuse them, and then just churn them out the other end.
100%.
And they're usually fucking jaded and hating on the industry after it.
I know that, like my friend that I was talking about earlier, and a couple of other peoples I know that have come through the industry, so disgruntled with it now.
Yeah.
And they did it for like a good 4 or 5 years, and now they just can't stand fitness. And it sucks because it ruins not only that career aspect for them, but it ruins their own personal training and growth as well. And I'll go and be like, oh, do you want to come in for a session? I'm like, no, I'm just not about that anymore. And it's like, that sucks because you were so passionate about this thing for so long, and now you just have such a bad like train of thought connected to it that you don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's a sad outcome.
Yeah.
And it needs to change.
Yeah.
You know, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the simplistic model of like, it's kind of like those really how am I trying to say this? The very basic economics of the thing, and it's like, well, I run a business, and my the lesser I can keep my outgoings, then the more money I get as a business owner. So I'm just gonna fucking pay someone as little as possible, and just keep them in the game for as long as I can, and then once they burn out, I'm just gonna get someone else in.
It's like the porn industry.
It is, yeah. Well, I mean, in a way, it's like
Just
McDonald's
flesh,
too, right?
yeah, right.
Like we're all young men looking for a gig, happy to do whatever. McDonald's like, yep, man, I'll give you
Fresh meat for
$3.95
the
an hour,
grinder.
and you're like, sounds great, until it's not, and then you're out, but someone else comes in.
Yep.
So it's that.
Always a new face.
Yeah, and that's the thing with fitness, and I think from Clint's podcast where he was talking about PTs, the average lifespan for a personal trainer is 18 months, which is ridiculous, right? Because there's so many of them getting churned out from doing their studies, coming into the industry, obviously really motivated, and then they literally make it a year and a half and they're gone.
Yep.
But so, if you look at a lot of the models that are out there that are selling people franchises or selling them affiliations or giving them kind of, a blueprint to gym ownership success, it's based on this kind of very basic economic model.
Churn rate.
Yeah. Whereas for us, I think there's testing to be done, but we've tried to come up with something that allows someone to be really successful financially. And from the beginning, like not have to go through this period of like slave labor, maybe a little bit, but
Got to
Clean the toilets,
but,
Dylan.
yeah, you got to prove yourself, mate. but really, like come in, like get paid all right, like be able to survive, be able to be healthy, not have to coach fucking 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. at night. Like, okay, you can have a schedule that's manageable and sustainable, and then also have a career path that allows mutual success for all parties involved. And doesn't lock them into something that they don't want to be in, and just kind of has a bit of freedom. And
that comes with empowering an individual. We don't necessarily say, well, it's different for Dylan. He's on a wage, but every other coach in this gym works for themselves, and this is different. It's like you can work if you put your head down and you work on your marketing, which Joe teaches them, and you work on your business management and you work on your own health. All of those tools are something that we educate our coaches in, all built around lifestyle, and then money management, all these things that you generally you don't come across in your PT. You don't even come across it at school. Like this stuff should be taught at school, really.
Yeah.
Just self-love, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? And self-respect and self-worth. And then there's the tools.
Management.
Now go out and fucking use them. Because if you want to be successful and survive in this industry, this is what you need to do it. And we do it on a weekly basis, and we share everything, all our knowledge. And the coaches go out and find new knowledge, come and share it with other coaches within the gym. And this is iron, sharpening iron. At the end of the day, it's great. And by the time our coaches are savvy enough or outgrowing the gym, they now have a career, a next step where they can step into a role that they've looked at, that we've been having for the time that they've been in here. Now they're like, okay, well that's the next step for me. I can have my own space, create my own gym, my own community, and here are the tools that you need to do that, because that's another level of education that you need again, and they don't have to make all the mistakes that we made to get to where we got to. Yeah, it's exciting. I get really excited about it. Like really excited. Take over this fucking industry.
Damn straight.
COVID proved a lot of like how when you look at business models in general, our business model, I mean, it fucking worked over COVID. It worked well. We came out the other end stronger in every single element. We even got more members than we've ever had. Now, like, there's not one area that I'm looking at, like when we reflect on it, where I think, okay, we're damaged there, or we've lost that fucking amazing coach, or oh shit, those great members are no longer with us. Like there's no area where I can look at and think. I mean, can you? There's somewhere where you looked at where we've come out worse off after COVID.
Not really.
And then you look at your standard fitness model, like business model, and I can guarantee you, especially these giants like Fitness First and Virgin, what's that other one? Good Gym or whatever it is.
Anytime.
All
those ones.
Jets.
But
they took a fucking hammering.
They did, but I would also argue that they're kind of different. They're different businesses, right?
Yeah.
And I think that any small gym that has a strong community should have fared pretty well through that. There's plenty. I would imagine. I know there's plenty of small gyms that don't have a good community, and they would have suffered. But I think like if you were driven by those relationships and by the people in your gym, then it should have proven to be, a largely sort of positive experience going through. Not positive experience, but you should have sustained less damage.
Yeah, I wonder, because I saw a lot of small gyms close.
Yeah.
Over COVID, but I think a few of them were probably already that they just got pushed, into a place they're probably already going to as
the
well.
way out.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Imagine if it happened to us in our first in our first year or
Yeah,
our
we'd
second
be
year.
buggered.
We'd be buggered.
Yeah.
You know, you got no money, no income, no systems.
No,
and you
that's
just go,
right.
yeah, you know what, fuck this, man.
Yeah.
Or if we were like, if this is another thing that's kind of relevant to mention with this, like if we just stayed exactly who we are and as gym owners of this gym for another 10 years, we won't have anywhere near the same drive or energy towards the innovating and leadership in this business as we do now. And it's simply just because you need, like we require progress and development and stimulation and innovation in our lives to stay motivated and engaged by something. So if you were that person who was like a 50-year-old gym owner and you've been doing it for 25 years and you got to the COVID thing, I think it'd be really easy to go, fuck this.
Too hard.
I'm out.
It's a lot of doing the same thing too, right? Like even those small gyms who have good communities, if they just relied on, okay, we've got this connection with our members, we're just going to close and do nothing from here on out, I'm sure they would have fared just as bad. It was the reaction, right? Like that's what made the difference for us. We're like, okay,
We took action.
we're going to see this. We're going to take it as a way to grow. We're quick onto the online stuff, and I think a lot of that comes to you boys having that background in the film industry and knowing your shit when it came to that stuff.
Paulie with the broadcast
Oh
setup.
yeah,
A+.
Thank you.
plus. But being able to still have something of value, right? Like we weren't just sitting on our laurels being like, hey, sorry, this is how it is. You guys are just going to have to get fat while we're closed. It's like, no, we want you guys to keep developing. We're going to come to the table with something. This is what we're going to do. And I mean, look how amazing that turned out now. Now it's become a whole big part of our community as well, where we can have people from Melbourne, people from all over the place jumping in on our classes and just
My
reaching
mum.
more people. Oh yeah, she's killing it.
My mum has
She's
gone
killing
from not
it.
training at all, pretty much for the last 20 years, to training 6 days a week.
Wow.
Like that alone, for me, is really, that's invaluable. You know what I mean? Like that is the biggest job satisfaction
She's not just
I've
training
had
as well.
in a very long time.
I didn't
And I've
realize
had
she'd
heaps of
come off
job
not training for
satisfaction.
ages.
Yeah.
Never.
She's got such a get
My
shit
mum
done attitude
likes
about the
rolling
training
up big
too.
fat doobie and sitting back and enjoying a bottle of wine with that doobie, usually at 6 p.m. on a weeknight. And now she's doing back-to-back classes.
Oh yeah.
She just
Like
gets
2 or 3
into it.
classes
Yeah, right.
back-to-back.
She barely
Almost
wants to hear what you
annoyed
got
that
to
you're
say.
there. She's like, just let me do the work.
Just let me do it. And she moves well and everything.
Yeah.
And she's
Oh,
getting
wow.
like, she's muscling up. Yeah. She's getting all muscly.
So good.
It's
I'm
good.
Like, Mum, you're
It's
getting
great.
all muscly. But that's huge for me. You know, like I get to walk in the gym and I see my mum on a screen training under, you know, Aaron or Dills or whoever it is that's taking the class, or Nikki, and they're there coaching my mum online. And I just, that's like, I love it.
That's cool.
So good.
It's really cool.
You know, if that was just the one thing that came from that shift for me personally, like, money can't buy that. You know?
Is my mum still showing up for classes? I don't
No.
think so, hey.
No.
Your mum moves well.
Damn it,
just
Wendy.
in-
Yeah, she's where I get my
Yeah.
mechanics.
She went to 6 classes more than my mum.
It's true.
Yeah. Hey, Tinia, where you at?
That would be so good to get your mum on an online class.
Yeah, she's busy reading.
Yeah, so we got this move into a new space for the three of us. Dylan's moving
A
into
new space figuratively, not
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah,
We're not
we'll,
going
we'll
anywhere.
still be here
Yeah.
in the gym, and we're just going to be handing over the reins to Dylan. And if things go pear shaped, we're always there to help out. And he's still on a trial basis. You know, he's got to see if he's can handle the amount of load that's going to come his way.
Big load.
Yeah,
It's all right. I'm a strong guy.
and then we just trial it and run it, and then we refine it, and we iron out the creases. And you're moving into this role.
Mm-hmm.
What about 5 years from now? Where do you think and you want to go? with
Well,
it?
in the start of next year, I've already been accepted. I start my exercise sports science degree over at UNE.
Brother.
Yeah.
University New England?
Yes.
Where's
that? Online for me.
Cool.
No campus. I'm doing full digital.
Nice.
So that'll be my my next step education wise. So I want to make sure I keep developing as a coach, and keep pushing that forward. I'm also training under Marcos as his official first student, so that's really cool.
Aha.
So hopefully over the next 5 years be kicking into those one-arm handstands and all that badass stuff that we see him doing.
Official student, like face-to-face student.
Yeah, face to face, online, everything. But I asked him if it would be cool if I say, hey, like you boys studied under Edo and all that. If I say studied under Marco at Kilios, and he said, yeah, let's do it. So
Sick.
it's official.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Marco's one of our coaches
Yes, he is.
and hand balancing beast.
All
and-
around badass.
Yeah, he's all around. Marcos
He's on the
Klaus.
mats now too, isn't he?
He is on the
How's he
mats.
go on the mats?
Exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, real good. He's obviously got all the body mechanics and stuff to pick everything up, but he also has a good mind to learn, which I think comes from anyone who puts time into their own physical development and progressing that stuff. So yeah, he's picking everything up really quick, and he's also quite strong. So he's a fucking handful for a lot of people.
It's transferable
Crikey.
skill, right? Like I remember when I first came in, I gave jits a go, and I'm just like, nah, I can't get this. This isn't fun for me. I'm just getting destroyed, and I've got no idea what the coach is trying to tell me to do. Then I went back at it, I think a month ago, and just being able to like, when I did one of Paul's classes, and I was like, Paul's saying do this, and I'm like, all right, yeah, sweet, I get what you mean now. It's like it's having that transferable skill and all those mechanics that we work on, and being able to integrate them into something new. It's like, hell yeah, here's a new puzzle, let's do it. It's good.
That's cool.
And you're throwing down now too.
Yeah. A little bit rusty after COVID, but still getting there. Went there last night. Camilo made sure that he got a few hits in and stomped my toe so that I can't get into him.
Good man.
He's going to keep you in
That
your
was
place
man's
for a
stomp.
while.
No, but it was brutal. It was good. It's good. I love being upstairs and getting on the mats. It's fantastic.
So we got study and then career-wise.
Yeah, so within the next couple of years, with the speed that everything's been moving, I'm hoping to have my own space for sure. So figuring out as I'm doing this, what I want that space to look like, what aspects I want to take away from here and what I want to add my own flair to, and figuring out where I'm going to build that space, or if it's going to be something in this space and going from there. But
Taking our space off us.
yeah, ideally, the idea is within 3 years, I'll have my own thing.
Buying
Just
us out.
Printing that. Yeah.
Give us your money, deals. Yeah, so convince old Mr. Perez to come be my second.
It's your calling.
And get into it.
2IC,
Yeah.
Camilo.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, it'd be an unstoppable combo.
definitely would be. And a good week.
Has he got interest in potentially becoming a coach?
Yeah, he's
got all the
slowly
attributes.
grinding him away and just breaking down those walls. You know,
Yeah.
like
I love how we're talking about Camilo. We're all here like talking about his future.
Just so you know, you don't have a choice,
so you
Camilo.
know.
This is just happening.
He's such a good dude.
No, he is. I'm slowly pushing away at him. I got him in here, so it'll happen eventually. It's just a matter of time. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah, so I only mentioned taking over this space because when I spoke to Dylan about this previously, he was like, yeah, I want my space. And he goes, or maybe I'll take this space. He actually said that to me.
Baller.
And I was like, gosh, dang, this kid's moving quick.
Yeah, bro. Lighting that fire.
It's good.
Nice.
Can you tell us what's in these bottles in front of us here?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm staring at it and my cup's empty.
Yeah, for sure, boys. Go grab a bottle. I brought in some butch for everyone, some kombucha. I've been brewing my own kombucha for about 4 months now.
Oh, this is like a bottle each.
Yeah, one each.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. You go, Paulie.
Okay, so
Jules is the booch master.
Yeah.
this is
that's
all around. Comes in, brings bottles of kombucha. Comes in, brings a cake that he's
That's a delicious
Mrs.
booch.
Mate.
It's good, man. It's good. It's mango, peach, and ginger. If anyone wants some SCOBY, hit me up. I got plenty.
He just hooked me up one a couple of weeks ago.
Really nice.
And now I've got a huge fucking SCOBY and I got to get rid of some. So if anyone wants some SCOBY, hit me up.
Nah, ignore Joey. Me first, bro.
You feel bad throwing it out because it's
I
this
know,
living
right?
organism.
I had to cut half of it away the other week, and I'm like, shit, I don't want to throw this out.
Apparently, you can do. You can. There's I think a business in the Philippines where they turn it into like wallets.
Oh,
They dry it out
Turn
and then
it
it
into, like,
becomes like, a
leather?
fabric, and they stitch
What?
it and
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
yeah, stinky fucking wallet.
Yeah, I want to look into whether I can put it into like
Dirty
wine
money?
gardens and stuff.
Dirty
Sorry. That's cool.
Mate, thanks for coming on today. It's good to have you on.
No, it was great being here.
And I think there's going to be a lot of the journey unfolding over time. So it'd be good to catch back up with you. Catch back up again soon.
Yeah, I'd love to be back on again and
See where you'd probably be too busy by that stage managing all of the shit that we dump on
yeah,
you.
exactly right.
Boys,
The GM role.
Any
GM.
closing thoughts from you before we wrap it?
No, that's it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about Dills and that next wave of coach coming through. That not just with him, but the next wave again.
Yeah,
which we're seeing. It's fucking unbelievable. We got, how many are in now?
7.
There's 7 in our internship, and then we've got more people
Probably
reaching
another
out.
internship starting off the
And
back
straight
of
off
that.
the
Joe is talking about doing one next year, but unfortunately, he's probably gonna have to do it straight away.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
Good to
no,
go.
next year.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And all that conversation before about what the other gyms are doing or the Globo gyms and the systems that they have and the churning over of coaches and really not caring probably for the people first and looking at numbers and stuff. That frustration was originally where the whole bloody thing started, am I not right? And so this is that step where it's been there in front of you for us for so long, and now we're actually getting it out there and the need and the want is there.
And we've talked shit about it for
We've talked shit
enough
about it for a
years.
long time. Yeah, and now we're putting it in a model where we can take what we've got here and give it to all of the good people of the
right.
entire world.
And there's space in there, like Dill said, to put
Yep.
his own flair on it.
Correct.
Because you can't do that in a standard model. You just can't. You can't get even an affiliate. You definitely cannot do it with a franchise and go, oh, I'm going to put my flair on, fucking F45. It just doesn't happen. You have to run their system.
Yeah, you're boxed
That's
in.
not going to be the case for us. Self-expression is a huge part of what we do, and if you take that away from an individual, you're cutting their fucking soul out. And
Oh,
it
I like
needs
that.
to be heart and soul into this business.
Losing all the
Otherwise, get fuck
potential
out.
too, right? Like if you say,
Get out.
here's the way I do
Yeah.
something, do it the same way. Imagine all the good ideas you're losing,
Yeah,
all the
that's right.
chances for something that you haven't thought of to come through. And
That
you're
you're
just
not good at.
Yeah.
Someone else is good at. Yeah, I hear.
Well, that's what we're finding now. Every time we hand a task over to Dills, we're like, mate, this is how you do X. And he's like, why don't you just do this? I'm like, you can give it a try.
You're not going to
Takes him 30 minutes instead of your half a day. Unreal. Guys, thanks for listening. That was episode 72. If you like that, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, give us a tag at Jungle Brothers Movement. If you want help with any of the training, or if you want to know about our upcoming internships or coaching programs, or any of the stuff that we offer, get in touch with us. You can hit us up on the Instagram. I'm on that all the time, or at junglebrothers.com on the webpage. You can contact us through that as well. But thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. Thank you, gents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.